Thanks for tuning in for this week's live Q&A. It's spring here down under and the bees are really bringing in incredible amount of nectar. Look at this pearly white capping beneath their feet. They've filled this frame completely. In fact, they're filling all the hives completely very quickly. So what we want to do as a spring beekeeper is seize the moment. This is the time when they make more honey than they need, and we can share some too. Good idea to harvest some and make sure that you've got space in the hive for the bees to store honey. Otherwise, they put a lot of honey down here in the brood nest. There's nowhere for the queen to lay her eggs, and that will be a real trigger for the hive to swarm, which is when half of them push the old queen out and go and find a new home. It's their natural division. Nevertheless, as a beekeeper, what we want to do is keep our bees here and get ahead of the curve, do our spring management, take our splits, so that we guarantee we're keeping the bees rather than half of them potentially flying to a spot where they're hard to catch. So questions in the comments below, we'll get to answering those, but I can pick any one of these frames really, and let's start harvesting. I'm just going to turn the key like that. It's pretty easy to turn today, and the honey will start flowing down the tube. Let's get another one going simply by pulling the cap out of the top, and I'll show you just how easy it is to harvest. We are just turning the key like that, and you can do it in segments if it's a bit firm. This one actually is harder than the other one for some unknown reason, but there we go. Do it in segments if it is firm to turn. And what we'll find is the honey will soon be pouring down into those jars. So let's go and harvest a couple of frames from, oh, look at that beautiful light coloured honey. I'm going to have to taste that. Oh, yum. Beautiful spring flavours. That's got a lot of the privet, which is an understory weed here, and the bees go crazy for it in the springtime. It brings in this very light coloured honey, which is exciting because a lot of the year we have the darker ones, which are often people's favourite, but because we get less of this lighter one, this becomes a favourite here at the Flow HQ. Any questions, put it in the comments and we'll get to answering those, but let's keep on harvesting now. Let's have a look here again. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous, isn't it? Again here in the window, we have nice white capping. The bees have got nothing to do. They're just sitting there waiting for some more space so they can keep filling frames. So let's harvest again just by inserting this key like that. And we can keep going, keep harvesting, because the idea with the Flow Hive is you can run your hives a lot smaller, which saves all of that equipment you once needed, taking up space in your shed, and you can keep honey in jars on the shelf instead of boxes in the apiary that you then have to deal with at the end of the season. So it's kind of, if you're a conventional beekeeper changing over to Flow, it's a different mentality where you can just keep tapping because it's easy to do, but you'd never harvest single frames in the conventional way just because it's not efficient. Whereas here, it's just easy. Turn the handle and harvest single frame honeys to single jars, which allows you to isolate the flavours. And let's see if we get different flavours today. This is another really light spring honey here, which is just beautiful, but even looks lighter than the other ones at this point. So keep going while you think of your questions. And this one here, the capping actually looks like it's been capped a little while ago, showing that it might have some of the darker tones from the winter time here. So let's see what happens when we harvest this one. Turning it again, like that. It's easy enough today. And let's see, it looks light as well. Okay, we've got a lot of spring honey coming in, which is a beautiful thing. And we're also going to show you a super lifter. There's been a request to see it on a double box hive, so we'll do that as well. So make sure you stay tuned in for that. And if you've got any questions, put them in the comments. So while this honey is just pouring out, we can go and do some spring beekeeping. Any questions coming in, Trace?
Yeah, Seeds, we've got a question coming in about varroa. Bowers is wondering, what do you recommend treating for varroa? Just concerned about the residue on the comb of the beehive.
Okay, so there's a whole lot of different varroa treatments. Varroa is new to us here in Australia. We've had it in this area since the start.